heading over the mountain from Johnson City down into Asheville. Gonna play some poker at Harrahs Cherokee. Today is Friday, February the 10th. How are you guys today? Hope you're enjoying the vlog. Put a new vlog up the other day, getting my kings burnt. I hope you like that one. If you have any questions, like to maybe do a question and answer session, write some questions in the comments below and I'll go over them. On the drive down here, I was thinking I've got quite a different background to some of you guys. With living in England, we did things slightly differently. Then I was in the Royal Air Force for 6 years, 3 reserve, from 1976 through 1982. And that was a great time. When I was in the Royal Air Force, to begin with, I was an aerial photography operator. We used to put the cameras on the aeroplanes, on the strike aeroplanes, like the Phantoms and the Lightnings and the Tornadoes and the Jaguars. And when the pilots landed, I used to go around and get the cameras, get the film, process it, showcase it to them from the sortie. That was really good. That was a lot of fun. I was just a young kid, late teens, early 20s. I loved it. Then I became a ground photographer. I went on an advanced photography course, RAF Cosford, and became a ground photographer. I learned how to take the pictures. That was really good. Very good training. I've photographed the Queen, photographed different people in the royal family. I've photographed aircraft crashes, technical details, technical photos, and done a lot of photography, which was a great time. I was at RAF Wittering. We covered RAF North Luffenham. I was at RAF Valley. I spent 2.5 years overseas at RAF Bruggen near Mönchengladbach, right on the border between Germany and Holland. Roermond, RAF Bruggen. That was a fantastic time. Drunk a lot of beer, I can seem to remember. Whilst I was at RAF Bruggen, I used to go rock climbing. So I've done quite a few things. I used to go rock climbing all around Europe, the Ardennes in Belgium with a bunch of my friends. So I was quite active as a kid, as a 20-year-old. I was in the RAF orienteering team. 1 minute before the race starts, you get a map. You use your compass, figure out your starting point, and you've got to plot your course around and visit various points on the map where you stamp your card to prove you've been there, in the order you've been there, and then you finish. Running around Germany with a map. Fantastic. I've had quite a few experiences in my lifetime. I was on the squash team. I used to play a lot of squash, which is a European term for, I think you guys over here call it racquetball or something. But squash, man, that was really good. I played team squash for a long time, even after I came out of the Air Force. I was on a team. We used to play squash nearly every day. Fit as a fiddle I was. But one of my claims to fame is that when I was at RAF Wittering, I was playing squash one day and this guy came up to me and he said, hey, you're pretty good at this. Do you wanna join the team? I said, what team? He said, the RAF Wittering squash team. I said, sure, no problem. So we had a couple of games and there was 4 pilots and me. I was the station photographer at RAF Wittering. And there was 4 pilots and me, so I was hobnobbing it with the officers. And We used to play every Thursday night, and then back to the officers' mess for drinks and food after the game. Home and away. Home we would go back to the officers' mess, so my mates were all jealous that I got to go in the officers' mess. Anyway, one of the guys on the squash team was Flight Lieutenant Jeffrey Glover. So if you're out there, Flight Lieutenant Jeffrey Glover, give us a shout, say hi. Jeffrey Glover was on my squash team when the Falklands War broke out. And this is back in 1982, before I left the Royal Air Force. And he used to fly the Harrahs jump jets. And obviously they were sent down to the Falklands. But Flight Lieutenant Jeffrey Glover was one of the guys who got shot down and was captured by the Argentine guys and held as a prisoner of war. He was one of the only ones. At first we thought he was dead, and you know, he was missing for a long time, but after the war they handed him back. So he was he had to eject from his jet after he sustained a hit, and they picked him up out of the sea, and he was pretty banged up and injured, and broken bones in his shoulder, I believe, or I'm not 100% sure, but I hope he's doing well now. Okay, played the tournament at Cherokee last Friday. It was a $135 buy-in, and it was the very first hand. I sat down, I looked, and I've got ace queen offsuit. Guy in middle position decides to raise it up 3 times the blinds, which were 25.50, so it's 150 to go. Starting chips were 4,000, so it was an easy call. I didn't want to raise. Most people had folded to me. The guy in the big blind came along, so it's 3 to the flop, which was ace 7 5 rainbow. So I'd hit my ace, got good kicker, didn't know what the guy who'd raised was playing, had no idea. Like I said, I just sat down at a tournament. You just have no idea, you have no history about the guys. I was talking to the old guy who was in the big blind prior to the tournament in the line, and he said that his wife was playing in the casino, so he just joined the tournament, and she's going to have to wait until he's finished because he wanted to go home. She was saying that she wanted to play some more slots, so he joined the tournament, and he said to her, and he told me this, he said to her, well, you're going to have to wait till I finish the tournament now. He was first to act, the old guy, so he decides to lead out into the pre-flop raiser, and he led out 600. So the pre-flop raiser called, and I obviously with my ace queen called. I wonder what he was leading out with. I hope he hadn't hit a set or had a bigger ace, and obviously ace queen's good enough to just call at that spot. I didn't want to inflate the pot too much with any raises right there, and if they had worse hands, I wanted them to come along for value. So anyway, the turn was fantastic. It was a queen, so I've now got aces up, aces and queens. I'm loving it. I think it's great. Still a bit worried about running into a set. It's the first hand of the tournament, like I said, so there's no flush draws. There's a possible straight draw with 7-5, but I didn't feel like the pre-flop raiser had anything like that. The big blind could possibly have, but then I didn't think he would donk bet on a draw, so I thought I had best hand right there. Anyway, the big blind went crazy and puts a bet out there of 1,050. So like I said, we only had a 4K starting chip, so now if I call this, I'm pot committed. So I thought about raising right there and just getting it all in, but then this little bird on one corner is going, yee, go put it all in there, and this guy's going, oh, it's the first hand of the tournament, you don't want to be out on the first hand of a tournament. So anyway, the pre-flop raiser calls, so I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I hope he doesn't you know, have aces or, you know, something stupid like that. I got a blocker to that, so I feel like I'm ahead right now. So I just called, and off we went to the turn card. The turn card was a total blank, 2 of spades or something, I can't remember. And the big blind goes, stands up, looks at the board, sits down and goes, I'm all in. Oh my goodness. I thought, well, he's got to be strong, you know. But how do I fold ace queen in this spot? I mean, so the pre-flop raiser now, he picks his cards up, looks at them, and mucks. So now I got to call now all my chips. Like I said, we all started with 4K, so I'm either all in or I thought, well, obviously I can't fold this. I just got to make that crying call. Hope I haven't run into a set. And I call and turn over ace queen. This guy turns over ace 7. He had flopped ace 7. He had flopped 2 pair, and I beat him on the turn. So he's out of the tournament. I guess he went back to his wife and said, come on dear, we're going home. And I doubled up the very first hand of the tournament, so I was really happy. That was the hand I doubled up on. This is the hand I crashed out of the tournament on a couple of hours later. The blinds had gone up quite considerably. I was down to 7 big blinds. Looked down, I had king, queen of diamonds and 7 big blind stack. I pushed it all in there, hoping that I'd steal the blinds. Everybody folded apart from the guy in the big blind, and he said he calls, and he had ace jack of clubs. So I thought, well, that's fair enough. I would have called in his position too. It kept the betting, so we're all in there. The flop came down, king, queen, I can't remember the other card, maybe an 8 or something. So I'd flopped 2 pair, king, queen, top 2 pair, and as soon as I hit that 2 pair, I knew that 10 would give him the straight instantly. That flop is just too good. I just knew a 10 was coming, and sure enough, a split second later, the dealer turned over the turn card. It was a 10, and the guy made Broadway, and I was out of the tournament. The river card was a blank. And it's really weird how that type of thing happens. You flop the best flop you can, but you know it hits his range, flat back into the middle, and you just fear the worst, and there it is. I mean, it's just really weird. He was ahead pre-flop going in, so, you know, that's fair enough, but I would have liked to have doubled up there and gone a little bit deeper. But that's it, tournament over. Okay, whilst I'm playing the cash game at Harrahs, I got aces. As you know from previous vlogs, I've been trying to be a bit tricky with them, and probably this is one of the reasons why. I got 2 black aces. I'm middle position. Everybody folds to me. I always hate it when everybody folds. There's no action pre-flop. I raised it up, standard raise, and everybody else folded. That's what happens, and it's frustrating. You see other people with those aces getting a lot of action. I just didn't get any action this time, so a little bit unlucky there. I just can't seem to get in on the action. There was guys then, the very next hand had kings against ace king, and I don't know what the other guy had. There was a 3-way pot. They're all 3 of them got it all in the middle after the flop, and the kings run out winners. He wins a $600 pot or whatever, and so I just need to relax, and hopefully I'll hit some of those spots. The Elvis Presley resort there is opening a new facility and a whole new set of buildings, and they're moving the end of this month everything into the new stuff. So my wife has decided to wait to go and see the new stuff, and they've got new tours and guided iPad tours and all this stuff, so she's looking forward to that. So we'll be going down there early March, probably the first week. I'd like to go on the weekend. I think that'll be better for the poker. So we'll see what happens. Hey, hope you're enjoying the vlog. If you're enjoying the vlog, click the thumbs up button, subscribe, tell your friends, leave a comment below, and I'll talk to you next time. Thanks.